Major League Baseball and the Players Association did not strike a deal by the 5 o'clock deadline. The MLBPA agreed unanimously not to accept MLB's final proposal. The first two series of the regular season have been canceled. Commissioner Rob Manfred addressing the media a short time ago and not exactly providing the best explanations.
Understanding that deadlines create urgency, you locked out the players to jumpstart the negotiations. It feels like real bargaining went on just in the last 24 to 36 hours. I'm sure people are wondering why not over the last three months or even longer to get to a point where you're not necessarily canceling games because there's some momentum here.
Yeah, I think the best answer to that question is the last 10 days. We've been here ready to bargain, full committees, owners, players for 10 days, and it got going 2 days before the deadline. That's the best explanation I can give you.
Guess what? That's not an explanation.
No,
Trenni
that's a
Kusnierek
really
here with Tom
bad
Giles and John Tomase. Guys, the funny thing is, back in the day when I did a lot of work with Major League Baseball, I actually always liked Rob Manfred. I thought he was fair in labor negotiations when he was working under Bud Selig. But he has single-handedly managed to take this game and put it under his foot and ground it into dust. Because there's no reason, John, that they could not have come to some concessions. When you look at the two big things that are hanging over baseball right now, it's a collective bargaining tax and a pre-arbitration pool where if they would just come to the middle, just come a little closer, they'd be playing baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I want to back up just one thing. Rob Manfred is serving the owners. So when you talk about somebody grinding something under their foot, it's Rob Manfred is being ground by his bosses. They are the ones who are pushing this deal. They're the ones who have the game exactly where they want it. I don't understand why they wanted to get to this point, but they did. And all of their actions have pointed this way for the last 2 years.
I get that, Giles, but you know who else works for the owners? Roger Goodell works for the owners. All of the commissioners, Adam Silver works for the owners, and the other leagues, for whatever reason, are able to find labor peace for the most part. They go through rough patches, but it feels to me like Rob Manfred has not been able to bring these two sides together. And that is also part of his job because he's also a steward of the game.
I understand that. But to Tomase's point, this is more about the Major League Baseball owners than I think it is about Rob Manfred. And what they're trying to do is make it look like it's the players who are not meeting them in the middle. It's the players who are not coming down. And the players, Major League Baseball hasn't moved at all. But the whole thing about you had 43 days and you waited till the last 10 to actually get things going. I think that's the easiest thing for all of us, for anybody to understand, is that you waited until your assignment was due 2 days before and you've had it all semester and you wonder why you can't get it done when you've had a month and a half to work on it and then months before that. You had time before the lockout even started. So that part of it is baffling. And the fact that I don't want to say neither side, but that Major League Baseball wasn't really willing to work with the players on this, and now they're shutting down games for a week. And by the way, anyone believe it's only going to be a week?
No. Yeah, where are we headed right now? How long could we be waiting? John, do you think till their game?
Could be June. It could honestly be June. And I did not foresee this. When this whole process started, I thought we're going to lose games because that's where the owners have been pointing. I have said it a million times. I'll say it again. You go back to the pandemic. The owners fought to play only 60 games. They didn't want to pay the players. The players wanted to play 110, 140, whatever. All of their proposals were about a lot of games. The owners were like, this is contractually the fewest games we can play. I feel like we're headed back towards that, where maybe they're going to look at it and say, what would be an acceptable season? 100 games? They're starting from that minimum position on games played. I don't understand why. I don't know if it's in the short term, they don't have to pay salary, and they definitely love that. That's one of their favorite things, not paying their players. And in the long term, they hope that they can break the players and that the players will accept what is basically the current system. That's what the owners are proposing. Why are they proposing that? Because they are cleaning up. They are winning, and they know that.
They're also counting on the fact that you have enough casual baseball fans that aren't going to care if you don't have a 162-game season, while also alienating the diehards who want to see 162 games. I mean, you probably have people that had tickets to opening day or tickets to one of those games in the first 6 of the year that were headed to Fenway Park. They're not going to those games. They're counting on the fact that casual fans really only care about the postseason, which is why they're trying to expand that, and they're just going to come around in the end.
Well, and unfortunately, I think they're kind of right. Honestly, I think I was listening to Beetle and Zoe the other day, and somebody called in and said, honestly, I don't care if they don't start playing games until June or July because I don't care until June or July.
Well, that is
and I
not
think
how
that
you build a sport.
I know but it's not. But I think that's the point where they're at, and I think that they know that they can get away with it. And then when they really make their money, which is September and October, they're still going to do that.
I mean, the Braves financials came out and showed that they basically make $6 million a game, a home game. That's $500 million in the course of a season. Are you just going to give that away? I don't understand what their long game is.
There's another stat out there that, Rob Manfred said that the last 5 years have been very difficult for the league from a revenue perspective.
Oh, I saw this.
MLB has totaled about $43 billion with a B, $43 billion over that period.
Okay,
so
this idea that they cry poor because of COVID is so disingenuous. Like, if you listened only to the Rob Manfred press conference, it makes you feel like the owners are doing all of the right things and the players are greedy. Do not be fooled. This is all about the owners.